Okay, I know, what lesson are you working on, Megan? 8? Are you working on 8? Okay, and Jonathan, you're still probably on 5? Okay, I know Susan's up ahead of that. Well, what I'm going to do tonight is I want to look at some things that I put in Evernote and concerning the final project, and we're going to look at a little video clip on how to use the Adobe CompCC, which is an app for your smaller devices like mobile, like your smartphone or iPhone, iPad. You can also download it on these. I'm hoping that we can download it on these Macs, but I have another iPad that I can bring, but I was having trouble because our connection is so slow here of using it there. But I want to show the overview of using it, because on your, I think part of your final project, I tell you to create your layout or your wireframe in Photoshop and do like what lesson 4 was, generate some of the assets, just so you know how to do that. You don't have to use it for your whole design, but so the Adobe Comp, what it does is it lets you design touching the screen, you know, with an iPad or your smartphone or whatever. Now, if you, I know Jonathan doesn't have one, right? I have an iPad, another one that I need to bring, that I'll bring to class next week. And you can use it to create with, and then it imports straight into Photoshop. But I want you to get an idea what they're trying to do with all the Adobe products is to make the workflow where, instead of where designers used to design on a napkin and then have to take it, you know, to Photoshop after they got home on their desktop, they can use their smartphone, their iPhone, their iPad, whatever they have with them, and they can actually create the design and choose. It will create either an Illustrator native file, an InDesign native file, or a Photoshop native file to be able to import into those applications on the desktop. So what I want to look at first is, if you look over in Evernote at the bottom, I have all these links for this week. We already talked about lesson 6 and 7 tonight. We're going to also, the last half, we'll go through 8. But you're going to start the mock-up of your final project using Adobe Comp and Photoshop. That's the one that I want you to use with it. So if we look here at this link, which is a description from TechCrunch about the new Adobe CompCC, this is the things that it's a news article about it, what it will do. And it's the new iPad app that lets designers quickly sketch out layout ideas on mobile. And so it's another product in the growing family of tightly integrated mobile apps today. And if you can actually download it here, which I went ahead and downloaded it onto my apps here in the desktop also. But you can create, here's the things that you can get to. You can get to any color themes that you've set up. You can it can give you just the color picker that you can pick different colors, but it's all touch screen. But this is an article about it that shows you what you do. But then we're going to watch this video. And also you have tons of fonts that you can sync, and you can use them either on the mobile app, but any font in Creative Cloud that you download to one app, like say you download to Photoshop, it's available in any Adobe application then. So there's just here, when I was syncing some, there was 1,064 fonts that I could look at and determine whether I wanted to sync those fonts or not. Tons of like cursive script ones. There's all kinds of neat ones. Okay, so stop using Meerkat. Okay, so I'm going to go over to not this one. I had it open. Where is it at? Here it is. Okay. This guy, you might have heard of him before if you've gone out to the Adobe.tv and watched any of the videos. He's been part of Adobe for a very long time. He's really a good instructor. And this one, oh, that's the one on the type kit. Hold on. Let me see if I can find.
I think it was the tab before that.
This one.
Adobe CompCC there.
Yeah, that's not the one. I want his. Let me go back to Evernote. I think I gave the right link here. I think this, yeah, this is it. Okay, it's called 7 Days of Mobile Workflows for Creatives, Day 7.
To a new episode of Creative Cloud TV. My name is Terry White, and it's actually day 7 of my 7 days of mobile workflow. So thank you for those who've been following along. I promise you to finish it off with a bang. And this is a fantastic opportunity for me to introduce a brand new mobile application.
Now, can y'all hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what's Comp? Well, if you've noticed, we've been working all week on getting things ready. We work in Photoshop, in Lightroom to get our images ready, Photoshop Next, Lightroom Mobile, and then we created other assets in Brush. We created Brush for Illustrator, we created a vector, used shape, and then we kind of brought some of that together with Adobe Illustrator Draw and Illustrator, and then we also created some color themes. Well, normally in that desktop workflow, you'd be creating all these things and then ultimately probably bringing them into InDesign to lay out the final pieces. Well, InDesign started out as a print-only application, but then became more of a multimedia or digital media application. So Comp, if you think about it, is the same kind of tool evolution, whereas the evolution of the bar map, where you would normally just kind of jot down how you want to lay out the look, show it to the client or the designer, and hope they go home and do it like you did on a napkin. Well, now instead of a napkin, you got DrivePad. And DrivePad becomes that Comp tool digitally that not only lets you, create the layout to look the way you want it to look, but also, and more importantly, giving you the ability to actually finish the process in your favorite application on the desktop, whether it's InDesign, Photoshop, or Illustrator. Now, with that said, your comp can be a comp for anything. It doesn't have to be a print design, it can be a web design, it can be a mobile application, it can be a screen, it can be anything you want to design. You can comp it in Adobe CompCC. So, without further ado, let's take our first look at Adobe Comp. I've got my Adobe application open here. I'm going to go ahead and just swipe over to my next screen where I'm going to launch Adobe Comp. Now, Adobe Comp gives me some samples to kind of inspire me. So the one on the far right here is a web design. So you can see it's got visually rich, it's got the menus at the top, and again, kind of just comping the way a home page might look. The second one, or middle one here, is the comp for maybe an ad for the backpack. And again, just very visual, very beautiful. Looks like it was done maybe Illustrator or InDesign. And of course, the screen design here for maybe a mobile app or mobile website, the adventure guide. So just design on what it would look like on a mobile screen. So how do I get started? Well, on the left-hand side, just like in most Adobe applications, you tap the plus sign. But the difference here is instead of getting just a blank screen when you're on your own, you actually first start out picking the format, because maybe you want to work on a mobile device. So the top row is iPad, iPhone, different orientations. Maybe you want to work on a print document. So the middle screen is letter, A4, tabloid, business card. And of course, the bottom row is for web designs, different web screen sizes. But what if none of those fit? For example, let's say I wanted to design a Facebook banner. Well, I can tap the new format, and I can go ahead and just start typing the name of the format. And this is going to be Facebook banner. And I know a Facebook banner is 851 pixels by 315. So now when I save that format, I never have to remember what size a Facebook banner is. Whenever I want to design a new one, just go to Adobe Comp, tap Facebook banner, and then it's got the right screen size, and I can then just go ahead and lay out the way I want it to look. So we're going to do one more here, or actually, let's go ahead and do let's do a new format here, and we'll do one that I don't see, and that is letter Y, or landscape. So that would be 7 22.5/612. So that'll give us our new format. And from there, we can go ahead and tap letter wide, and it will open up a letter wide document. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, I already see what tool I would need. I see the first tool, which is a shape tool for creating shapes like, rectangles and circles and so forth and so on. The middle one, my text tool, because, if I'm going to comp something, chances are I'm going to want to tell it or put where I want text to be in the comp. And of course, the third one is for bringing in images. I already know those icons from my other Adobe applications. But what about that bar napkin concept where you would actually be drawing out what you wanted it to look like? Well, we haven't lost that. If you tap the button on the left-hand side, you can switch into the draw shape mode. And so, for example, I can draw a nice big rectangle across the top of my page. If I put an X in it, I'm telling it that I want that to be a placeholder for an image. If I didn't put the X in it, then I'm just telling it to be a rectangle. So I can also go in and, for example, I could draw a circle. And there's a circle. I could draw another square. And there's a square. I can draw another placeholder. And there's a placeholder. If I want text, I can draw another shape, like a rectangle, put a couple of lines in it, and it knows I want text. If I want to draw a rule or a line, just draw the line, and it will give me the rule. So, very cool to be able to do this level of just thought process right here. Now, once I'm done drawing and I kind of want to rearrange things, I can tap the X to get out of the drawing mode, and now I can click on each one of these shapes. I can rearrange them, I can draw them, or I'm sorry, I resize them. If I want to duplicate them, I can. So now I got one that's exactly the same size. I get smart guys to help me line it up. So there we got it, and now I'm going to make that same height. And of course, the circle, I can move over and put that there. Now, if I don't like where this is going, instead of balling up the napkin and throwing it away, I've got a 3-finger history. So from here, I can go ahead and hold down 3 fingers. And then I can go back in time, and it will change my design based on what I did over time. So very cool to be able to do this. Of course, I can still tap on any object and delete it. So now at this point, I've got the placeholder for my large image. Then on the right-hand side, let's draw a placeholder for our next image on that side. And then what I'd love to do is have some text here. And that's enough to get me going. Now what I want to do is get out of the drawing mode and then go from here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to fill that top rectangle with an actual image. So I double tap on it and it says, okay, where do you want to get your image from? And it gives me pretty much everything I want. It gives me, I can get the image from my iPad. I can take a photo right now with the camera. I can get it from my Creative Cloud files area, and that's pretty extensive because it's not just what's in your Creative Cloud files folder, but it's anything you did in Illustrator Draw. It's anything you did in Illustrator Line, which is another mobile application. It's anything you did in Lightroom. All my Lightroom photos, including all my New York photos, are fair game. It's also giving me everything I've done in Photoshop Sketch. Or I can say that I want to grab files from the market assets. So I can go and search or grab market assets as for placeholder images or actual market assets that I want to use. So if I don't have the photography, I don't have the symbols, or I need a picture of a CD-ROM or a picture of an iPad, I can just go ahead and go to the market and search for those things. Now, I do have the photo that I want, so let's go ahead and double tap on it. And let's go to my files, and let's go to my files folder. Let's go to my demo files in Creative Cloud, in my New York folder, that composition we worked on, and Lightroom and Photoshop Mix, and Photoshop on the desktop, and there it is. So bringing that image down from Creative Cloud and putting it right here in my mobile application. Next one I want to do, and you might have guessed already, let's go ahead and go get the file that we worked on with Illustrator and Illustrator Draw. So again, bringing these elements together. So there's my illustration. And of course, I can scale that and have it bleed off the page if I need to, or just at least go to the edge. So, and of course, it looks like it's not fitting, so let's fix that. Let's say fit the image. That way it will go ahead and make a frame that fits the size of that image. Of course, I can still scale it down if I need to and put that where I need it to be. So you get the idea. Now, this text is great, but I was thinking more of a headline here. Matter of fact, I was thinking more of a few headlines. So I can go ahead and resize this to get something nice and big just by using the on-screen control. Now, I actually want to duplicate this a couple times. Let's go ahead and put in our first words, New York. So just typing on my external keyboard here. And the next thing I want to do is just simply duplicate that and duplicate it one more time. So now I've got 3 New Yorks. The middle one, I'm going to change to an ampersand. And the last one, I'm going to change to the word design. Now, of course, this is cool being what it is, being the color that it is right now. But I would love to, number one, change the color. So remember those color themes that we created using Adobe Color? I have access to them. So I have access to the color picker, which lets me design this with any color I want. That's great. I also have my themes, basically all the themes I've ever created and all the things that are available out there. As a matter of fact, those are community things. If I want to grab my themes, then I can go ahead and go into my Adobe demo library, which is where we created that New York Liberty theme. So for example, if I want the green here for that New York, I can get the green color for the New York. So colors are there, great, but here's the big one. Not only did I get the ability to add type, but as far as I know, this is really the first mobile application that not only lets me type, but also lets me use my fonts. Not just fonts, but my fonts. What I mean by that is there are applications out there that let you type. There are applications out there that let you choose fonts. But how many of them let you put your own fonts in? None that I've seen so far. They may exist, but I haven't seen them. Now, with your Creative Cloud membership, you get access to Typekit desktop fonts. And you've been syncing those if you've been working along with us. Well, now you have access to those Typekit desktop fonts on your mobile device. So I can go in and I can say, grab my text tool, and not only can I choose what font I want, I can see the ones I've synced to the desktop previously, but I get the ability, let's go in here and, for example, use Proxima Nova, and we'll use Proxima Nova Black. Okay, great. I got the font, made it a little too big for this, no problem, just make it a little wider. But not only did I get the Proxima Nova that I want, but I want to adjust it. And this is, again, something you would think, oh, I gotta wait till I get back in Design or Illustrator or Photoshop. Nope. I can just go to my type menu one more time, and I have spacing. I have the ability to control the letter spacing right here. Just make that a little bit tighter tracking right here in Adobe Comp. Now, same thing with the ampersand. We're going to just go, I don't want to sit here and have to figure out how big I want it. I just do it visually. I'll pick it up, and I'll also change the font for this. We'll go to our font menu one more time. This time we'll choose AO or AO, and there it is. Nice thick font. Of course, I have the ability to change the color, just like we did before, so I can make it that nice gold color. But there's a couple problems. Number one, it's above my New York, and that's because I created it after New York. So I would love the ability to not only change the stacking order just by using a slider, putting it below New York instead of on top, but I even have the ability to change. And this is, I about died when I saw this. The ability to change the opacity. So I can even drop the opacity of my images or text or shapes right here in the Comp. And if you want to take it up a notch, for those of you who are going to ask, can you rotate it? The answer is yes. Just use 2 fingers and you can rotate that out. So let's go in and finish this up. We're going to take the word design, and same thing, we're going to give it a little type treatment. Let's give it a little color treatment first. And let's go in and also give it a little font treatment. So let's do this. And I'm going to use one that I haven't used yet. Let's use manage treatment. Now again, if I don't like any of this once I get to the desktop, I can always change it. So I can again just keep copying this, keep moving these around, can make it arbitrary. Oh my God, we're here. We're at the point to where we're creating things on our mobile device that we would normally have to wait till we got to a product like InDesign to do or Illustrator to do. So we've done our image. We've grabbed vector and raster images. We can, of course, continue to do them. We've done our text. We've done fonts. We've done letter spacing. We've done colors, our color themes. We basically took advantage of everything that we created in the past week and brought it forward here into Comp. So with that said, now what I'd love to do is finish it or keep working on it, at least on the desktop. So I have a couple choices. If this were it, if I were done, I could just simply say, share this, and I get the standard share screen where I can send it or open it up in another application and send it out as an image. Hey, take a look at my Comp. Or I could go in and, more importantly, send it to my computer. But not just sending a static image to my computer. Whether I send it to Illustrator, InDesign, or Photoshop, it comes over as a native file, complete with all the individual objects and layers as necessary. So for example, if I send it over to InDesign, it's actually preparing and making an IDML file that can be opened up in InDesign with all of the components and elements there. If I send it over to Photoshop, it will actually create a Photoshop native file with all of the layers, masks, and everything necessary to make this look the way it looks in Comp. So I get the ability to have my cake and eat it too. Start with that bar napkin on my iPad, but not just have a napkin. When I get back to my computer, I've actually got a design I can work on. So I just finished sending it from the iPad. Let's give it a second or two to make its way over to my desktop, and then we'll continue it in InDesign. And here we are now in InDesign with my document open and, of course, completely editable. I can click on the image. I can replace it with a higher resolution version. I can adjust where the image sits in the frame. I have complete control over my type. If I want to change this to New York, from New York to New, I don't know, York, I can, or undo that. And of course, I get right back to my type. Speaking of my type, it's the same fonts. So if I were to select the ampersand, which is rotated, I get the Azo font and, of course, the script font, which is Mayhem Spring. So there it is. I started the workflow on 7 days ago from Micromobile, completed the process in Photoshop Mix, created brushes and colors and vectors and all the various applications, and we put it together today in the brand new Adobe Comp. And again, if I want to see this without any guides, set my letter W on my keyboard, and we can see what it would look like if it were printed or put on the mobile screen or wherever we want to take it back. So, hope you enjoy this week of mobile workflows for creators. And more importantly, hope you enjoy the new Adobe CompCC, which is available as watching this video. I should be able to go download this from the App Store. Have fun and create great things. Take care. We'll catch you in the next.
Now he has a lot of good. He has one that teaches you how to download those all of those fonts. So if I went here, here is where it should be in my, there's the screenshots of it. It should be in my App Store. Let me go here. Oh, there it is. Not my App Store. It should be in my apps. Go to where those are. Wait a minute. Okay, I don't know why my rocket launcher left here. Why that happened. I used to have it. So I'm going to show you how you pull those fonts down. I was doing it on my iPad at home. Then I got here and the connection is so slow. Let's see, was that it? Here's the one where he shows it, but I'm not going to play. This one's like 16 minutes too, but he shows you how all of those market assets, if you go to the Creative Cloud, I don't know if you can do that on there, but when you go to the Creative Cloud at home, if you have that connection, here's where you can go to market assets like he was talking about. You can use any of these when you're designing. There's like tons of stuff out here that you can use in your design that are not copyrighted. Like when he was saying, if you need a picture of a desktop icon, if you need a laptop, here's a laptop. So you can just drag them over onto your screen. And then here are all the apps that are on mine right now. And that's what I was trying to find why it's not showing. I thought I could use it on here and show it, but I guess I have to be on my iPad. But these assets that it's talking about, if you go over to fonts, these are all the fonts that I have just recently synced. But you can click on add fonts from Typekit, and when I add these, any of these, they're going to be added to all of my applications as soon as I sync them. But it's just so slow here. We're supposed to, when they remodel this whole place, we're supposed to get faster internet. I hope it's right. Or faster Wi-Fi. I don't know. Will it let you go? Does it show the Creative Cloud on your iMac there? Does it on the one on your desktop there? I don't know if it'll let you all get to the Creative Cloud or not.
If you sign into your Adobe account,
It'll let you.
that's where you get your,
Because here's, and also all the files that you have. So I can go here, and these are the ones that are loaded on my, if I try to use my iPad, let me see if I can get this to do anything, because I couldn't downstairs because our connection on Wi-Fi is so slow, but at least I can. Let me see. I think I have to have the right. There, it came up. There's all the fonts. And I'll show you where it says, like, I can go in here and tell it to sync. And see, like Susan said, I'm logged in here to my, with my Adobe account. So now I can go down here and see, here's where I was telling you. These are this one says 358 font families. Earlier when I was looking, maybe the list. Oh no, in the list, what it shows you is different styles of fonts, all the different ones that you can use. And used to, we were limited on the web. Like, I know, Susan, you said you missed Helvetica. Well, here's 11 alternative fonts to Helvetica that you can download. Alternatives to Georgia, which Georgia was one of the ones that was the web fonts. Like, there was only 6 or so that were web fonts, and now you can use a lot of different ones. Geometric, sans serif, there's a bunch here of different classifications.
Yeah, I have that video running.
Where is it? Right here? Let me see. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have done some stuff on the Adobe Comp, but I just know that that guy works for Adobe and he's really good. But I thought that I had one. New features, just put improved layer comps. Well, there's one that has all the mobile, maybe has all the mobile apps, tutorials on all the mobile apps, if I can find it. Maybe it was the one that was linked in here. CompCC. Nope. That wasn't it. I have way too many windows open. And I was going to see if I could get that other connection so I can actually. Oh, I know what those are. I always have to. Wow, that is so slow. This one. Oh, I don't have the right one to go. I don't think. HDMI, no, because it went. Oh yeah, maybe I do. No, if I take that. This will just show up on my laptop, I think. But I don't know if I can get it to show up there. No, it won't. I didn't bring the right connector. I think I've got one down in my office. Okay. So many different ones. Next year, we're supposed to have Wi-Fi projectors, which will be nice. Not have to worry about all these different kind. Probably need to go in there. That never did load. Huh. TechCrunch.com. Okay, let me go to, oh, it's here. I don't want that one. I don't want that. Don't want that. Not that one. That's what I did want. New iPad app. Oh no, that's the one from there. Okay. See, it may have been this one. Nope, not that one. Okay, there's one at the Adobe site that's called, it shows you all the mobile apps. Have any of you used any of those mobile apps like Adobe Draw, Adobe, let's see, there's a ton of them. If I go up to the, not a ton, I've got about 5 on my iPad, I think. And that's what he was talking about, the 7 workflows. Like, okay, on my, I don't know, I can't get it up on the screen, but if you look at my iPad, I started one where I had some photos from when I went to the conference in LA. So if I go to, from my files, I guess is where it came from. Yeah, and here's, I can go into, like he said, into files. If I created anything in Illustrator Draw, Illustrator Line, there's my photos, photo sketch, but they're just not loading because our internet is so slow. But everything that I have in my assets on the cloud, Creative Cloud, I have access to here. My iPad, okay, here's some photos. There, I can use any of those that are on my iPad. There's, so I can add these in and then I can rearrange them like he was saying with his finger. This one lets me crop. One is the opacity. The reason he was saying that was a big deal is because used to you had to go to the main application was the only way you could do any kind of opacity things with it. So how many of you have Photoshop? You are. Do you use Photoshop a lot? You do? No, you don't?
I have used it, but I don't really have
Have
any
any
reason to use
To
it.
use it? You don't? You don't like taking photos and stuff?
Or you can do killer web pages.
Yeah, and that's what I want y'all to be able to do is the way lesson 4 was, and it showed you using Photoshop to design your page, and then use the Adobe generator to generate that page. And so that's why I was showing this with this Adobe Comp. How many have?
You can do rollovers in Photoshop.
Yeah, you can do all of those kind of things in Photoshop. See, you can add, like I added this text up here, where you can make your design it and put your menu options where you used to have to do it with the wireframe, just drawing it out. Well, you can do it all on this app. But if you don't have, like, I know you have to have an iPad to use that comp. So if you, next week, I'll bring a couple of others. Does anybody have an iPad that's in here right
And I
now?
don't have a smartphone, I have a BlackBerry.
You have a BlackBerry?
I have an iPhone, but I can't get on the internet. Oh,
You can? Why not?
just messed up.
No, your iPhone's messed up. First his computer was, now it's iPhone. Have you shut it all the way down and?
Yeah, I'll probably fix it a little bit.
Oh, you mean just right now you haven't been able to? Well, see, I noticed, I just tried to download the comp. It is just for the iPad, but some of them are not. Like on my iPhone, I have, let me go down here where the Adobe ones are. I have Adobe Clip, which is the Adobe Premiere video editor right on the phone. You can have, where did I put up those? I thought they were in a folder, but now I'm not seeing them. Oh, they're probably in here. Yeah, here they are. Then there's Photoshop Express, there's Photoshop Mix, there's tutorials right here for you to use. There's Adobe Shape. Adobe Ideas used to be the one where you could draw. It's Adobe Illustrator Draw for the iPhone. But now they're not updating Adobe Ideas as much as, because you can use the Adobe Comp to do that. But the thing was, everybody always has their phone or their iPad with them, and so rather than have to wait till you got home to your desktop, that's the whole idea, is to use that workflow. And so if you really want to get into design, that's some of the things you'll want to, it's pretty neat, all the stuff. When you erase something, just put a squiggly line that just disappears on your screen. It's pretty cool. Okay, I'll let y'all go ahead and work on whichever lesson you're on, and if you need some help on what's expected on the final project. Now, the last week, remember what I was telling you on May, let's see, I think it's the 5th and the 7th, that's when our last 2 days, that week will not be, this building will be shut down. And so,
What, May 5th?
yes, that week, the last full week of class before finals week. And I think I have it in here, and I'll put more into, like I say, finals week, our final, May 11th is the Thursday. Oh, wait a minute.
I was gonna ask you about that.
That date's wrong, isn't it?
Is it supposed to be on a Thursday or?
No, I've got that wrong.
Okay.
It's supposed to, that's, my other 8 weeks class is Thursdays, and so
No,
I,
that's okay. I was just
okay.
confused 'cause I was like,
Yeah, no, it's
do I
not on
have
a
to take
Thursday.
off work?
No, it's not on Thursday. No, let me get that straightened out. Okay, so this last week, let me go to May here. And calendars. I want to uncheck all but rows so everybody don't have to see everything. Okay, so on my calendar for May, this week, which would be the 4th and the 6th, are the 2 last days of the regular week before finals week. And those 2 days, we can't get into this classroom. And I'm trying to work it out where we can use a lab over, it's called CC 129. It's in the Communication Center, and they have PCs with Creative Cloud on them. You have a laptop, or even if you want to work from home those 2 days, then that's fine. You don't, because I'm trying to find a place for those who don't have CC loaded. But hopefully you'll be through with the lessons pretty much by then, and you're just working on your final project. Yes, Irene.
Are you gonna be on those 2 days since it's finals? Can you be on Google? So we can,
Yes,
like,
I could be on Google Hangout. Sure, I can do that. And that's what I'm doing tonight. I hope it's working. And then also the final, then I was going to try and give you all the as much time as you could, since this is an 8-week class. So we were going to do our final presentations of our websites, and we may have to do it on Google Hangout, because if I can probably get that classroom over there, or the Fab Lab on, this must be, okay, I know what it is. The 6th for sure. I won't be at, I'm going to do the capstone, anybody that's in the capstone project class, we're going to view them around this time. So if you're needing help, I can do a hangout at about probably 4:30. And then we'll do our presentations on the 11th. That's what I put in there, didn't I think. Oh, okay, let me go in there and change that. And then I said all work is due by Saturday, May 16th, because I wanted to give you all till the very last day of the session. But we'll do our final project presentations on Monday, May 11th. Now, I will, and we can do them at 4:15 in a hangout, or I can try to get that classroom CC 129.
To do the hangout, do you have to have like the programs on your computer to be able to do the hangout?
You just need a website with a link where you can go.
Yeah, like if you put your final project on, let's see, where are you going to put it?
Project would have to be done, basically.
Yeah, your project would have to be done, and you would have a link like where you've uploaded it to the, we're trying to get it published to the Business Catalyst is
So
what
you'll
we're doing.
only need like the website to show you in the hangout.
Right.
Okay.
And you'll do like a screen, you'll do a screen sharing.
Okay.
So if you have a webcam, you can do well, you don't even have to have the webcam, because I don't have to see you. I have to see the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you'll talk, so you need a mic. Okay. Do you have a mic?
No.
You don't? Okay. Well, what we'll do then is we'll set it up in that classroom also for those that don't have that. Okay. So, and as it gets, there's another, we're supposed to hear, I think this week, whether we can use that CC 129. The Communication Center has a lab for journalism and all that, and they have CC loaded, and they don't use it in the evening. So I shouldn't have any problems us meeting over there. So that, my next semester is going to be tough for the first 2 weeks. But anyway, that should be, I'm glad you pointed that out though about the date here. I did put May 11th there, didn't I? Oh, that was for the Monday. So we'll do, if your final project on May 11th, see, that's almost a whole week that you have to finish all the lessons if you didn't get those posted. And if there's finishing things that you want to do to your final project, you don't have to have every bit of it done May 11th, okay? Just so you can present the basic flow of it. But if there's some finishing things that were required in the document, then you can still work on those and I don't have to give you the final grade till the Saturday, May 16th. I just want to try and get the presentations out of the way so that we can see what each one is done and try to get the links posted out there. Okay. So so that means, okay, lesson 8 we're doing now. This week needs to be finished. And what the way I have it laid out here is, okay, next week we would do 9 and 10, and then that's the 20th and the 27th. We'll be doing 11, 12, and 13 because we want to have it finished by that week so that the last week you can be working on your final project anyway. So we wouldn't have to be in class. Okay, that was my goal, so that you would be able to work on your final project. And if you don't have this at home, is that part of the problem, Maine? Do you not have this software at home on your? Okay, so there will be times, once this shuts down, this class, the first week of May, the Creative Cloud will be over there at CC 129. So I've got to find out what hours, if we can get over there during this time, because you'll have to have some additional time to work on your final project.
I've been working on it in the library.
Okay, in the library. They're going to shut the library down too. It's going to close the same time this place, it's getting remodeled this summer, just like this building is. So that's what our problem is. So, see, they have humanities shut down right now. Social sciences was last semester, and they're doing one building at a time. We're trying to update. Our president has really been good about this building was the original building on this campus in 72. It was where the administration was and everything. So it's not been.
So everything's gonna shut down on May 4th.
We have to move out of here. The building is shut down May 1st, which is,
Better time.
I know, well,
What
The-
about
the better thing is, all the other divisions have had to do it during their semester. So they're trying to do the bulk of it. Their goal is to have it done before we start in the fall, but we do not believe that will happen. Because for one thing, this building, as old as it is, does not have a sprinkler system. And so it has to be updated to code.
Yeah.
And so that they have no idea how long, because none of the other buildings had to have that done. So,
They're doing the library during the final week too?
yes, they are. But the problem with the library is just our Creative Cloud software, is only over in that, but they're not doing that CC 129. And we're finding out that we should be able to get that lab.
Okay.
So we should be able to have it all the last 2 weeks of school. Oh, I better shut off my Google thing here. Oh, was it not doing a screencast? Huh. I don't know if